But she's going to have a lot more horsepower soon because we have a extra bottle of NOS. Welcome to D-Mop Garage. We are back on the Elle bug and we had some major issues and we're going to talk to Claire about what happened. We're going to be putting a blaze cut in this and for some not normal reasons, for other fuel related issues. So what happened?
Basically my car filled up with petrol.
So for the Americans that's gas, because we like to call it petrol in Australia. So what was happening is, and you can see there is no interior in here at the moment. So you were driving and you were complaining of a bit of fuel issues, smelling.
Bit of an issue.
Right, and
apparently the fuel hose perished. That tiny little bit of material hose at the front.
So you know where you've got your fuel tank in here, guys, and you've got a little section of fuel line that runs to your fuel pipe, which runs through the middle of the tunnel. Now, this is brand new, so we've only just put this in. Now, some numpty in the past, this would have rusted out, and what they did is they ran a line through inside the car, and it was running down the side of the tunnel in here. And of course, what happened, and you'd think that wouldn't be much of an issue, but that's right, until the car fills up with fuel. And luckily, Claire's not a smoker, otherwise it would have been one of those real fire issues.
Oh my God, help me, I don't want to die! Oh, stop, drop, and roll! You're not on fire!
What happened is the clamp leaked and the fuel, I suppose, trickled down the line and ended up inside the car on the floor under the carpet. And I'll put some footage up now so you guys can see how much fuel was in the back of this thing. Luckily, obviously the carpet's trashed. We've had to take the carpet out and we'll have to buy some new carpet for it. And what we did is we used an unconventional method of taking the old rusty line. Was it rusty?
No, it was actually really good nick.
So that makes no sense. So that means this is a double numpty whoever did this. So anyway, we've pulled out that line. And we've actually gone and put a brand new line in through the tunnel where it's supposed to go, and we're ready to obviously hook that all up. So in the meantime, we are going to put a blaze cut. It was one of those things that was going to be put in the car anyway. So this is the 3 metre or 2.5?
Oh, it's the big one.
3 metres? 3 metre, yeah. So it's a 3 metre one, so it's the larger version. So a little bit of a backstory about these blaze cuts. A lot of, obviously, enthusiasts are putting them in cars. Quite a few years ago, I was able to get one of these from a fire. I suppose he was a shop that was putting a lot of fire suppression units in factories and that sort of thing. And he had one. And he said, try this thing out. And of course, I put it in my bus. And then about 2 or 3 months later, they were banned. You could not buy them in Australia. And it was something to do with the explosive gases that are inside these units that obviously put the fire out. They deemed them an explosive, and that was the end of that. We couldn't get them in Australia for, I think, about 8 or 9 months. And then eventually they must have got them, tested and approved and all that, and then they started to trickle back into the country. But I think I only paid about $220 for mine. They've gone up substantially since then. I think these are, closer to $400, $380, $390, something like that for the 3 metre. And of course, they go in pretty easily. We just zip tie them into this section of the lid here. One thing about fire extinguishers and even these things, people say, it's preventative maintenance. Always check your fuel lines and all that sort of thing.
Always check your fuel lines.
Yes, yeah, that's right. We don't need to be swimming in fuel inside the car. And a good fire extinguisher. The little tiny ones you buy from Bunnings or from, any of those hardware stores, they're pretty much useless. If you want a decent fire extinguisher, it needs to be this size here. That's what you need to have, that size right there. Anything smaller than that, and you are not going to put a fire out in a hurry. I actually saw a video of a bay window bus on the side of the road burning, and a fire extinguisher rep rocked up with a van next to it, and I think he emptied about 7 of those little tiny ones, and they didn't put the fire out. So don't kid yourself if you think one of those little ones is going to put a fire out, because it ain't. So we're going to get this thing installed, and I'll show you how to do it. So the bits we've got, we have zip ties and some fire suppression stickers, which are, I don't know if you want to put those on, Claire, but we can. There's 2 stickers.
We love stickers.
Yeah, we can.
We love stickers.
I don't know if you'd put. Well, you could put one in here if you really wanted to.
Put the fire out.
I don't think they put the fire out. We're going to use these clamps. Now, these ones might be a tiny bit big, so we've got a little bit of a packing rubber to put around them. They just look a little bit more professional than the standard zip tie. So, yeah, let's unravel this thing. We'll pull it out and we'll have a bit of a look-see at it and see how we're going to install it. All right, so you can actually see that it has a bubble. Where's the bubble? Normally there is a bubble in there. Anyway, you've got a gauge on it and it does show full. You can see on there. So what we're going to do is pretty much just put it like that.
Lovely.
And you want to have the gauge so you can read it. So I'm actually thinking right where that is there is perfect, because you can come on the side here and look at the gauge and you can read it. Or do we do it that way? So it gets a little bit tricky because we have to make sure.
Just 2 circles, you reckon?
Well, you can stagger them. Oh, do the, yes, yeah, I know exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah, something like that. Kind of like that.
And then loop these. The problem is you want to have that so you can see it. It's got a gauge on it.
Oh, yeah, that's what it does.
And it's
So-
only a small space to cover anyway.
Yeah, because I thought that went down. Down. You've got to stay inside that loop at the bottom too.
Correct, that's right.
2,000 years later.
Right, here's the progress so far. It's quite a fiddly job, even with 2 people. You can see it's very springy, and we have a dodgy spring on this back thingo as well, but we're getting there.
Elle's quirky.
Elle is quirky. She's definitely a quirky. But she's going to have a lot more horsepower soon, because we have a extra bottle of NOS. Okay, so that's going to get put in later. Oh, it's a good for about 1.2 seconds. Don't leave it in there,
Just
actually.
to get you through that intersection.
Yeah, that's right. Just to, exactly. So when you buy a 3 metre length one, they're obviously larger, but you have more areas to have to zippy. Now, if you pop that one further, then you can have these 2 sitting next to each other instead of overlapping. So yank him through the holy bit. Keep going. There you go. Yep, like that. And then what you can do is you can put another one of these there on that bolt.
Yes.
And you don't have one on that side. That's a
Zip tie off it.
well, you could probably zip tie off that one. That's right. And then what you do is you can just pull these tighter so they're having it. Well, you can even zip tie the 2 of them together like that, straight across, zip tie.
One on.
But that is a problem. See how it's rubbing up against the bolt there?
No, you just put.
So, yeah, you need, correct. There's not a lot of feng shui, but that's okay. There we go, nice and tight. And then you've got to trim off all the excess. When you cut these, you make sure you cut them on a really sharp angle so that later on you cut your hand really badly on the end of the zip tie. We're not going to do that. You cut it flush.
So that happened to a friend of a friend?
That's too far over. That'll hit there.
Will it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means Okay, see how this is over to here? Yeah. That one you got to pull it over, which will tighten up the radius. Yeah. So yank him. And that's because that hasn't got a rubber sleeve under it to grip it.
Yeah.
So you need to put that behind it.
I'll be back in a second.
I'll be back. Yep, and then that'll work. So yeah, was it about a week you were driving it around and you smelt fuel, mm-hmm. And you're like, what's this fuel smell? And then, I can't believe that.
Indeed.
Yeah. So yeah, don't run a fuel line inside the car.
Fueling smell.
Not a good idea.
No, but that's the most ridiculous part is I didn't even know the fuel line
was in there. Well, that's right. No one would.
Until it all went wrong, I didn't know.
No. So with a little bit of thought, you can see how we've gone and done, a few different modifications and areas. We wanted to be able to read the gauge, so we can do that now. And then we're just going to finally zip tie this bit here. We don't want any vibrations, and it's quite solid. It clears everything once the engine lid's shut. So I think we're on a winner. We're going to change the hardware out, all this stuff, to stainless because they're all janky and shonky, and we don't do shonky around here, as you know. And yet there's still red spark plug leads. What happened, Claire? They're supposed to be we're gonna get new ones eventually, but yeah, at the moment they're red and purple.
It's a disaster.
It's a disaster. Soon it won't be a disaster. We'll have it looking good. All right, let's put that final zip tie in, and we can call it finito. All right, so we're done, and you can see it's quite neat and tidy. You can read the gauge, and Claire, you can shut it, and let's make sure it does shut.
Oh, no, jams.
What? And locky. Make sure.
Oh yeah, that does. You got to push it hard.
There we go. Lock now.
Another one of our quirks.
Done deal. All right, let's see if it stays open. We do have a bit of an issue with the. No, unfortunately. Oh, we've got to cut a couple of these zip ties here still. Let's get rid of those with the snipper. So you can get in there and give it a snip and make sure it goes into the engine bay so we lose it. Where did it go? Right there. Okay. And the other one. Where is the other one? It's right here. And I don't think we can get to the back of it. Can we get to the back of that zip tie? No, we can't. So it's going to have to just be... It's going to have to be just there. Yay. Right, just shut it for a sec. I just want to see if nothing's binding, which I don't think it is. No.
Nope.
Excellent. Well, there you go. That's done. And then, of course, what has to happen inside? We're going to paint the fuel tank. We've got to change. The other thing we've got to do on this is the steering box is leaking fluid. So the seals. There is a seal right here that has to be changed out. We're going to do that as well. So box has to come out for that. And we also need to give it a good clean up in here, repaint the fuel tank. Fuel tank's very crusty, as you can see. So we'll give this a repaint as well. and might even polish up the cap. And yeah, then we can get it back on the road. Okay, thanks for dropping by, guys. We'll see you in another episode. Yoo!